Have you ever messed up so badly at home that you had no idea how to fix it? Maybe you apologized, explained, or even overcorrected. You bent over backward, worked late nights and sacrificed time, and yet some things still feel broken. Bringing home flowers or a toy won't help. You can't fix it on your own. I know. It stings to admit. As men, we're wired to want solutions, to take action, to make it right. But there are seasons in marriage, fatherhood, and legacy where no matter how hard we try, our best efforts still fall short. And that's exactly when we need God's restoring grace. Today, we're going to talk about what it looks like to stop trying to fix what only God can restore, and how leaning into His power can bring hope, peace, and even unexpected reconciliation. Let's dive in. Why this matters. It's a common trap many men fall into. You can spin your wheels for months or years pouring energy into repair that doesn't help and can actually make things worse. In marriage, this might look like trying to earn forgiveness through grand gestures, massively overcorrecting, too many apologies, or constantly asking if she's okay. In fatherhood, it could be overcompensating with gifts or activities, or suddenly trying to be involved when you never have before. But now it just feels awkward. Thankfully, we serve a God of miracles who can restore everything we've broken. But that doesn't mean it will happen quickly, easily, or without His help. So what do you do when nothing you try seems to make it better? It starts with intentional surrender. Here's how. First, get painfully honest and admit the reality of the situation. What did you do, man? Where did you fall short? What happened and why? Don't sugarcoat the situation or try to justify it. Just be honest. Take the issue to God in prayer and ask Him to show you just the reality of the situation. Second, admit where you fell short. Confess your sin or misstep, to yourself, to God, to the person you hurt or offended, and to anyone else who was involved or affected. This step is humbling, but humility is powerful. It opens up the door for God to work, and it models for your family what accountability looks like. Third, apologize for your actions if you haven't already. Even if you felt justified in your actions at the time, it's important to own up to the hurt you caused others. If you haven't apologized yet, be sure to do so. Fourth, ask how you can make it right. Maybe your efforts to repair the relationship aren't working because you're incorrectly assuming what the other person wants or needs. Instead of assuming, ask them directly. How can I make this right? Maybe there's something you can do, or maybe there isn't. But at least you'll be aiming at the correct target. Fifth, walk out your next step with God's help. This may mean asking God for the courage to show up faithfully, even when you're met with a great deal of hurt and resistance. It may mean asking God for the strength to keep going when it feels hopeless. Matthew 7:7 instructs us to ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. Knock and it will be open to you. And the verse 11 reminds us that if we know how to give good gifts to our children, how much more will your Father who is in heaven give good things to those who ask Him? So don't be shy in asking God for what you need to fulfill His purposes in your life. This is a prayer He delights to answer. Finally, trust God's timing and His methods. In Isaiah 55:8, God reminds us that His thoughts are not our thoughts and His ways are not our ways. Unfortunately, God doesn't always restore when or how we want, but this is a good thing because His vision for our lives is so much better than our own. You may be, in a bumpy journey right now, but don't lose heart. God isn't done with you yet. Now, you might not see the restoration overnight. Some relationships take years to heal, right? Some words you've spoken or decisions you've made will never be erased. But God can transform what's broken into a source of strength and testimony for your family. Remember 2 Corinthians 12:9, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Your weakness, your failure, your limits, they're the perfect canvas for God's power and restoration. So here's what I want you to do. Stop trying to be the fixer. Stop exhausting yourself, chasing results you can't control. Instead, redirect that energy toward prayer, humility, and consistent, loving action, knowing that there are some things only God can fix. Every small step matters. And even, if the ultimate outcome isn't immediately visible, you can still feel confident, God is at work. When you surrender to Him, hope replaces guilt, peace replaces frustration, and faith replaces fear. So here's my challenge to you today. Identify one area in your marriage, fatherhood, or personal legacy where you've been trying to fix it yourself. Write it down, pray over it, and ask God to restore what you cannot. Then take one small intentional step in that direction. Whatever you sense God putting on your heart, maybe it's a conversation, a note of apology, a phone call, or a simple act of service. He knows your next steps. You can't fix it all. You don't have to, but God can, and He is faithful to restore. Subscribe to the Courageous Men podcast so you never miss an episode. Share this with a friend who needs the encouragement and challenge to live courageously. Start by joining the Courageous Men community. Let's take action. Let's be courageous.